Welcome to Hood Champion Boxing and Sports. In boxing, you find a way to win or you find a way to lose. Demterius Andrade is back, surprisingly on Showtime. I was shocked to see that. Let me tell you, this Tank Davis card that they put together, they're putting together a very, very solid card, man. You got Jaron Ennis on there. Tank's fighting Hector Garcia. You got Boo Boo Andrade on there, man. And it's just, man, I may buy tickets and head out that way. Take my two older sons out there to watch the fights. But Demterius Andrade, I'm not really sure what this man's plans are because he's comfortable with trying to control his own career. But I think this may be the best move he's made in a while. We know that he used to fight on Showtime, but somehow he managed to finagle himself into a deal where he's fighting exclusively on Showtime now. And I think he had to do that because he's had a lot of opportunities and, he's done what he thought was best for his career. Now, we know what Demterius Andrade, 2022 has just been an awful year for Andrade. He was scheduled to fight Zach Parker for the WBO interim title. I believe it was at 168 in May. But then that bout ended up being postponed because he suffered a shoulder injury. And they tried to reschedule it, but they just couldn't make the fight happen. So then Eddie Hearn goes on record and, he's all about cutting the fat. Eddie Hearn got rid of Andrade, said, hey, he's just not a draw. No one wants to fight him. Eddie Hearn said he lost money on Andrade. Now, that didn't help Boo Boo Andrade's profile. In addition to that, now, I don't know this for a fact, but I personally think Canelo Alvarez had something to do with Boo Boo Andrade not being retained by Eddie Hearn. But I've been saying this for several months now. Eddie Hearn has to put together Grand Slam fights. He needs fighters who can help him knock pay-per-view events out the park. Demterius Andrade is not that guy. Tank Davis is. But I'll do another video on that. But that's what you're seeing is happening over there with Eddie Hearn. So anyway, Matchroom decided, hey, we're not going to retain him. And as a result, man, he ended up vacating the WBO middleweight title because he declined the title defense against the, second generation knockout artist, Janabek Alimkhanuly. Now, the thing is this, right? He's looking to get back on the good foot, man. We know he's extremely talented, left-handed, southpaw fighter, man. And what it looks like he's trying to do here is Andrade is trying to get himself in line to fight Benavidez or to fight Caleb Plant. He seemed to have given up on Canelo. It seems like maybe he even feeling like maybe he can get a shot at Jamal Charlo. But the thing about fighting David Benavidez is there was a Samson Lukowicz, right? He's the guy over there who's promoting David Benavidez. He went on record and said they made an offer to Demterius Andrade to fight Benavidez. Now, we know with Demterius Andrade, he'll turn down a fight if he feels the money's not where it should be. When you look at when he was supposed to get in here and fight this guy, I just said his name, man. He's got that weird last name. Let me see. Kanuli, whatever his name is, man. Janabek Alimkhanuly, right? He was supposed to fight him. Supposed to make like $1 million. Turned it down. Found himself in a horrible position to where now he had his purse cut by over 80%. And then him going to purse bid to fight Zach Parker for the WBO interim title. So this man missed out on $1 million payday, ended up in a purse bid for $200,000. And he wasn't having that, so he turned that fight down. So you see, he's just been out there just kind of coasting. And he's just been in a constant descent. and just waiting for someone to kind of extend that olive branch where he can grab onto to break his fall and to get him back on his feet. So now he has this opportunity to fight on the undercard of Tank Davis. And it's a pretty good fight for him, but I think he should win this. But he's going to come back, and this may put him in line for some big fights at 168. The thing is, I couldn't find how much money he was making for this fight because I'm interested to know if Espinoza treated him fairly or if Espinoza gave him the business. And what I mean by that is Demterius Andrade is desperate. This man, his inactivity has been well documented, okay? He's desperate. You're not fighting. He's got 4 kids. He needs to make money. Now, I'm not trying to be in his pocket, but the reason I'm talking about the money he's making or is not being able to make as a result of his inactivity is because he pays attention to that. He's pulled out of fights because of that, okay? He's chasing big money fights. So as a result of chasing big money fights and rolling the dice, he crapped out. Now, I honestly feel Steven Espinoza realized this was an opportunity to bring him over there to fight on Showtime, but to get him for probably about the same amount of money he was going to get if he would have went and fought Zach Parker. But I can't find that. So to definitively say he's only making about $200,000, which is what he would have made with the purse bid with Zach Parker. But I strongly believe that. I really do. But at the same time, I think Espinoza's like, look, come on over here. We need your big name to help strengthen the card for Tank Davis. You're from the East Coast. Get through this fight, and we'll look to line you up with either Charlo, Plant, or Benavidez. It may be the Benavidez Plant loser who he faces. Okay, but I'm hoping they don't bring him over there and then put him in with another nobody at 168. Demterius Andrade needs to get in big fights because the longer he goes without getting those shots, by the time he gets in the ring, he may be looking like Triple G. The Triple G today, where you see glimpses of the talent, of the skill set that was there, but he's only kind of like this purse cut he had with the Zach Parker purse bid. He's only 20% of what he was. So there's been an 80% cut in his performance and his skill set and what he's able to display in the ring. So we will see how this goes for him. It was just watching his interview. He wasn't very vocal. He was kind of subdued. But I think with being over on Showtime, I think Espinoza is really talking to these young fighters and saying, hey, look, and I'm not even going to call him young because he's not young, but he's talking to these fighters and saying, Showtime is a brand, you're a brand, and we expect you to carry yourself in a respectful manner. Carry yourself in a professional manner. We want to do business with you, but they can't afford to have another Adrian Broner over there. Like, they just can't do it. And I'm curious to see how he's going to perform when he gets in the ring. I'm really curious to see how he is going to perform because I honestly think that he's going to win. Devon Nicholson's a good fighter. He's got a lot at stake here. If he wins, he's out of here. He's to the moon. But it's easier said than done when you're fighting a guy with the talent, skill level, power, IQ, awareness, experience of Demterius Andrade. So that being said, Demterius Andrade fighting on the undercard for Tank Davis versus Hector Garcia, January 7th out there in D.C. Tune in. I will be. After that, let's see what Showtime is going to do with him. I'm really hoping he gets a shot now finally at Jamal, Caleb Plant, David Benavidez, and I hope he gets out there. I don't know how he's going to do, but I want to see it. But if he wins, I would really like to see him get a shot at Canelo. That would be very interesting to me. Because Canelo, I don't care what anyone says, he's on the decline. And this may be the opportunity for one of those guys to pick him off. But We'll see. That being said, y'all keep cool. Shout out to the veterans, and I'm in the breeze.